Nonprofit is sounding the alarm for people on Medicaid.
They are. Nebraska Center for Healthy Families is concerned. They're worried people are not aware that this year Medicaid members must reapply to be eligible for benefits.
And John Chapman reports for the last few years it wasn't necessary to reapply for the benefit.
During the COVID-19 state of emergency, we were wearing masks. We were lining up for COVID vaccinations, and the state of Nebraska automatically updated Medicaid members to make sure they were covered. Now, Nebraska Medicaid will review all Medicaid members' coverage to see who still qualifies.
Starting March 1st, people will have to renew their Medicaid coverage. That's the issue. And so my concern is that people who have moved or who have changed email addresses, maybe they've had children, they need to let the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services Medicaid know that Access Medicaid. Know that and call them.
Doris Lassiter is with the Nebraska Center for Healthy Families. She tells us Medicaid members will receive notice asking for updates, but she doesn't want them to wait on the mail. She wants people to be more proactive and notify officials of any changes.
And this could be a situation where somebody has had an additional child. Maybe their income has changed. They've moved. The state of Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services will need to know that. If they don't get that confirmation, if they don't get feedback or get information back from the Medicaid client, then they may lose their coverage for a bit.
At One World Community Health Center, staff are already helping their clients make their way through the Medicaid renewal process.
We sent out about 100 letters just yesterday of those people who need to renew their Medicaid and within the next 2 months. And we're also going to send a care message. If they need our help, to just, reply yes.
Teresa Chavez is the Enrollment and Financial Service Supervisor with One World Community Health Center. She tells us they can still help if a client is making more money and no longer qualifies for Medicaid.
Sometimes a person's income may change, and if they do not meet the Medicaid eligibility requirements, the Access Nebraska will refer them on to the marketplace so they can still get low-cost health care.
Officials say it's important that all families are aware of the renewal process, so no family has to go without health insurance. On your side in Omaha, I'm John Chapman, 6 News.
Starting March 1st, Nebraska Medicaid will review all Medicaid members' coverage to make sure they still qualify. You can get help with the Medicaid renewal process at One World Community Health Centers. If you have any questions about the Medicaid renewal process, that's what you do.